What is up, guys, and welcome back to another video. Today we're back here with another farm. In fact, today we are doing a farm very similar to the last one, except today we're using TNT Duping and it pretty much needs a redesign for the whole farm. So that's why I'm doing another video and didn't just link it with the other one, and also because I just came up with the design recently and not when I made the other farm. So yeah, the other farm's much simpler to build, but this one is much more efficient if you're doing larger builds because you don't have to fill up a bunch of TNT. So it looks kind of complicated, but I'm going to break it down for you into 3 different sections. The collection system, the kind of concrete pushing converting chamber, and then the TNT duping. So what am I going to start with is down here over at the collection system. So as you can see, it's pretty simple. These honey blocks can be replaced out for chests. It's just to make sure that the items get pushed up to the not like to the edge of this block, because you can see the hitboxes are a bit different. This one is slightly smaller, and you need it to go up to against this side. And these honey blocks are the same, because this outside layer doesn't actually count. And then that just allows stuff to go into these hoppers. So I use honey because it kind of looks better, but you can switch that out for chest. Also, probably should put another one up here, because it is possible for stuff to go fast enough and just go up across. Okay, so to begin with that part, all we're going to have to do is dig out an 11 by 8 area. So we go 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then 8 across this way. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then just kind of connect these edges and then remove all of the inside. There we go. Now once we've got that done, we're going to want to come out one block, any side, doesn't matter. And just dig down like this, like kind of trench. This is very similar to the other one we did for the other concrete converter, but it is slightly different. It has to be a bit larger, I believe, this one. But anyway, place some water right here, and this will just allow it to flow. But you'll notice it doesn't go all the way. And to combat that, just break a block there and then dig out a bit more this way. Now you're going to want to then go out some this way, get a pressure plate, and on this last block here, place it. Except you're going to want ice under it, and then ice on 2, 3, 4 after that. So there we go. So then there's 4 spaces where we're going to put the hoppers. So we just dig out some area over here. You can of course build this above ground, but I'm choosing to do it in the ground. So if we then place some chests, you will just do that, lead a hopper into each of them. And then of course, to expand the storage, you can just go down from here. So if you're above the ground, it'll be a bunch better. But you could then do something like that. So whatever goes into this hopper will be, this chest will go into this chest. So that'll just make it much larger storage. And you can of course make these double chests or these, something like that. But I'm going to just leave them as single chests and not anything down there. Okay, so now you're going to want to place glass panes above each of these hoppers. And this is just so the items go through nice and easily. You actually don't need this pressure plate here, I just realized. But you can place ice here. To be honest, I'm just doing it because it looks a bit better. But then, something you actually have to do is break these blocks over here. And wherever you see water coming, so this block to this block, so whichever way you see the water traveling this way into the trench, you're going to have to place honey blocks or the chest like I mentioned before. This is just so it aligns properly. As you can see, if we remove the place these, I'm gonna just do these because it looks a bit better once again. But this way, if we place some blocks here, we get pushed up against, and it'll go into here. It'll probably just chilling in the hopper. But if we didn't have that and had regular blocks instead, then you'll see it will just glide on over to here. So if we just chuck some here, there you go. It didn't go in any of the hoppers, and that is why we need honey blocks. You can alternatively switch this out for any other storage system that you want to do, as long as you're making sure it gets to somewhere. Like if you made it go here into a hopper, then it would be alright, but that will clog up very fast, because normally what happens is this will clog up and then it'll go into this one and then start going. And if you find that for your load these are overloading, just add some more, because the items will travel across enough, like across these. But if not, just place some more water. So pressure plate, then water, and then it will keep going. But now that is this area done. Pretty simple. So now what you're going to do is grab a piece of obsidian, or crying obsidian, doesn't matter. Find the middle block here and just go up. It doesn't really matter, just as long as it's a safe distance that the stuff underneath won't get exploded. And if you really want, you can test it out with some TNT and some flint and steel or a flame bow. And as long as the stuff down there doesn't get exploded, which we should be fine. Yeah, we're fine. All good. Now, we got to start making this stuff over here. So if I just remove this concrete that I was using for testing, you can get a better look at what's going on over here. And I like to make these tutorials kind of in depth, so you understand how this works, and not only just copying it block for block. So what's happening over here is you're placing a block, and then this redstone torch will allow the block you place there will allow the signal from the redstone torch to go through to this repeater. The reason it's not a dust here, just like that, is because over here it requires different timing. Because you can't just place dust here to go through, and then this is slower than that is, and then it will cause issues. So trust me, it needs to be a repeater. So anyway, then a similar thing over here, but instead of the torch, it's just a block. The signal goes through the block and then powers all these pistons here. So just like that. Then here it's similar thing again, but this time there's no repeater, it's just straight into some blocks. And then some repeaters at the back of here to power both layers. So just like that. But anyway, that's how it works. Now how do we build it? Let's find out. Okay, so from this obsidian, you're going to want to go 8 out this way. So towards where your honey is. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, not that extra one. Then 2 across this way. Place an iron block right there. And this is where your torch is going to go, but you don't have to place that yet if you don't want. And then you're going to want to place a block out from that. And then 4 across this way in total. So it makes kind of like an L shape like that. So then once you've got your L shape, you're going to want to place some blocks kind of like that. This is just so you can place your pistons. And just makes it life easier. Anyway, so the amount of pistons you're going to want is a 4x5. So 5 across this way, horizontally, and then 4 vertically. So it'll look something like this. And then all you're going to want to do is make sure you power all these. And to do that, all you're going to need to do is place some blocks on the bottom half of each of them. So on the bottom one, and then the second one, I guess, from the top. And then a row of blocks behind each of those to give them all power. If I get some redstone dust. So this will give them all power. But then to connect it with here, all we're going to need to do is a simple kind of connection like this. You can connect it however you want, really. This is how I'm choosing to do so. Then if we place a block here, they will all get powered. And it doesn't matter if you decided to go like this or something, it should still all get powered. But just really up to preference with that one. Okay, so then for the top area to push it down into these, you're going to want to leave a 2 block gap, so 2 temporary blocks, then a permanent block, then again a temporary block, permanent block. Then these is where you're going to put your 5 pistons, just like that. Then your block's going to go here, so you're going to want to get that redstone signal over here. So a redstone block here. So then you'll see if we place the repeater back here, the signal will go through it. And just as I placed the repeater, I remembered that doesn't have to be signal 15, but anything you place this close is going to be signal 15 anyway. But the repeater will extend it anyway, so it doesn't matter. But then anyway, what you're going to want to do is give all these power. So to do that, all you're going to want to do is place some blocks here, and then kind of just bring it up like so. So yeah, just bring it up just however you want really. And then line all those like that. And then this should power them all. There we go. So if we line all these up, you should see them all going down. Or I've done it wrong apparently. Oh yes, oh god damn. Didn't mean to do that, but you gotta place all those as well. Got to do that. So now if we place them all, they should all get powered. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so I just forgot to do one thing. Here, I built this a bit wrong. So all you're going to want to do to fix it is place a repeater here and a dust here. And then this should work now. Instead of just pushing only the last one down, it should pull all of them down. There we go. Now that works. We'll just reset all this a bit, just so we can see in action a bit more. Now last thing to do at this stage is just to make the part that converts the concrete powder into concrete. And that is probably the simplest thing we've done in this stage. And all we're going to want to do is come place a temporary block here, and then go across one like that. This is not a temporary one. And then go out 3 like that. Then leave a block gap and place another block. This is where your torch is going to be. Place a piston on top of that with a block here, 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 and here. Place a repeater there, and then 3 dust there, like that. And then once you place blocks here, it'll get pushed out. And the reason for this, as I mentioned before, is because of this one here. If you put this on forward delay, you would have to put this on forward delay, but why would you do that? You're just making it slower. Anyway, so now for the actual conversion, all you're going to want to do is encase this kind of square here. Get some water, if I can spell apparently. And also you're going to need a slab of any type. I'm going to get smooth stone because why not? Also, all these iron blocks don't have to be iron blocks. They can be any other block. So place water here. This is so it doesn't overflow and break everything. Then place some water here. You can alternatively go up a bit more just to give yourself a bit more headroom while you're standing. But it doesn't really matter. I like it to be in line with everything else. That's just me though. But as long as your water goes here, then that's good. Because if you got concrete powder, just get some lime concrete powder, it'll get converted right there. So then, all this is done here. You're probably going to want to build yourself a bit of a platform here, just so you can stand nicely. And also, if you're planning to stay here for a while, I believe I might have said this in the last episode as well, but you're probably going to want to place a dispenser with some items being shot out to you. So I believe this should, not like that, no. I'm trying to place it here. I believe this should do it. There we go, if you hear the click. Or if we can actually place some stuff in there. Then we get a hopper. Then that works perfectly. And of course, you can add some of these stuff into them. Okay, so now we want to build this duper part. So we can have some TNT explode and all this stuff. So to do that, we're going to want to go up 14 from here. So this is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Then grab some more obsidian. Then go out 2 like that. Then leave a 2-block gap like this. And grab yourself some pistons, 1 of each type. Then do something like that. So this normal piston is on the edge of these. Then what you're going to want to do is take a block down from this one behind the sticky piston, go a few out like that. Then grab yourself some repeaters, some dust, some observer. And then you're going to want to place a repeater here on full delay, a dust here, a observer here with a block right here with a repeater on no delay, with then a sticky piston there with a redstone block. And this should create the timing needed for the TNT pusher, because sometimes TNT lands here and it will need to be pushed to here. But we can't really test that yet because there needs to be other repeaters connected to it through the rest of the circuit. So now from this obsidian, we're going to go 1, 2, 3 out, then 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 up. Place a sticky piston like that. Now this is for the TNT trooper. So for that, we're going to want to place a sticky piston on and right next to it. Then kind of like an L like that. Come out here, do another one of those L's. Then here we're going to want detector rail and a minecart. Here we're going to want a wall here, TNT below it, and a dead horned coral. It doesn't have to be horned coral, but just dead coral fan. Just like that. Now that is the TNT Duper, pretty simple. But basically what will happen is, right now the TNT looks like it'll always fall here. But it'll get pushed back and then it'll fall here most of the time. But sometimes it'll also fall here, which is why we have this, which will push it off. Now we're going to want to make the timing for all this stuff here. Let's do that 3 blocks out. And if I can get myself a few blocks. Yeah, this should do me. Place a dust here, repeater here, and then comparator behind that. So basically what this does is there'll be a hopper clock here, and once a block goes into here, the comparator will detect that. This will extend the signal, which will allow this to be powered, and then also power that stuff down there. But basically what we're going to do now is make the hopper clock. So gonna want 6 on each side as a total of 12 hoppers. So make them all pointing into each other, a massive circle, but it's really a rectangle, but whatever. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then just connect it up like that. Should be pretty self-explanatory. Now, all we're going to want to do for this clock is make an off switch. So we're going to want block, a lever, one of these, and one of these. Then we will go 2, 3 out with another one. So the sticky piston will be there with the lever here, block here. Then once we power that, it will go here. Place any block here, only one. And then that will allow for the correct timing. Now we're almost done. All we got to do is connect this up to down there. So to do that, you just kind of do something like this. So the way I do it is 2 out here. So this is 1, 2, 2 extra here, then 3 here. You got to have one area that is 3. That is a necessity. Because we want to place a repeater on 3 ticks here. And then all I do is go down 3 like this. And then end up connecting it like that. So all these are just dust, and that will provide the correct timing and everything. Now, assuming I did this right, and I didn't do it right last time, so I had to redo it. This should work. You know what? I should probably check all my timings just to make sure. Alright, I believe all should be good. Once I flick this switch, this will be primed, so nothing will happen on the first go. But the second go, yep, we got it falling down there. There we go, it's working. I just want to demonstrate if it lands here that this stuff works. Here we go, there we go. See, it just pushes it like that, simply. That will happen sometimes, but most of the time it will fall down directly onto there. But this is just there as reassurance. So now, if we want, we can actually give this a whirl. So we grab some powder. We can go over to here. Place some extra powder in here if we want as well. And basically, just hold click. Alright, let's test this out now. Just hold down right click a bit. Wait for it to all get pushed out. Once it gets pushed out enough, it'll start going out on that bottom layer. And then it'll start getting exploded. Here we go, we should see an explosion. There it was a bit. Here we go, another explosion. There we go. You can see a bit of the stuff happening. Alright, now let's stop this and see if our sorting systems work. That should have worked. I have no doubts with that. And also apparently I missed a bit here. But yeah, we should see some dust apparently in there. Some concrete. And sometimes it'll go into these chests, but looks like it didn't this time. Because we didn't do too much of a large amount. But if you go a lot, some will end up there. So now this is the farm done. Pretty simple, and this kind of design can also be used for a basalt generator, although slight modifications need to be made. And I'm going to be making a separate video on this design and the other concrete design and make it into a basalt design. So that will be coming in the future, but for now, this is the concrete generator using TNT Duping. So it's pretty useful, so I hope you do find it useful, like I am definitely going to, in my survival series, the How To Survival. If you want to check that out, head over to my How To Survival playlist and look into some of the videos. We have just defeated the Ender Dragon and gotten some Elytra, so that is pretty cool. Definitely very fun to be flying around now with Elytra. But yeah, anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider leaving a like and subscribing. But until next time, later guys.